Well, many Utahns have visited France over the past 2 weeks, traveling to Paris to take in the spectacle of the Olympics. But there's another place in the northern part of the country that Americans have been visiting for decades for a much different reason. Olympics specialist Alex Cabrera continues our team coverage from Paris tonight. He spoke to one Utah family who says France will always have a special meaning to them because of Normandy.
We often hear words like hero, courage, and bravery describing athletes at these Olympics. It's almost normal to use those words for sports. But there is a part of France where there are true heroes, and as Americans, we know the cost.
Our debt of gratitude, it's unspeakable.
And Lundberg Kronmiller, who lives in Springville, knows that cost about as well as anyone. Her uncle, Jack Lundberg, never made it back home to Utah.
They found Jack within 2 or 3 days of when I was born.
Second Lieutenant Jack Lundberg was killed when the B-17 bomber he was in was shot down during World War II. He was eventually buried in the American Normandy cemetery.
And you look at that cemetery and your heart breaks, and you want every one of them to be remembered.
Making sure Lieutenant Lundberg is not forgotten is where Camille Noel comes in.
You see all these headstones, but you don't know their stories, and it's just really sad.
Noel is from Bountiful, the area where Lieutenant Lundberg was from, so wrote a school paper on him years ago. But for her, it wasn't enough.
I felt a connection to him when I first started this.
So she did more research on him, met his surviving family members, and reached out to the local paper in the small town in France where Lundberg's plane crashed. She never expected a call back from a Frenchman who was also interested in that crash.
He said, I interviewed blah, blah, blah. He was a kid who was right next to the crash site. He saw their bodies. He saw the Germans taking stuff off.
They kept in touch, sharing stories, which eventually led to the town of Epagny-Epagny deciding to place a memorial honoring Lundberg and the men who died in that crash. It was dedicated this past June on the 80th anniversary. Noel was there.
It's been wonderful just uncovering who Jack was and letting them know who he is.
Noel and Lundberg's niece have become good friends now, connected by a hero who truly defines the word.
We just have to be so grateful. I am.
As our Olympics assignment here in Paris is about finished and we get to go home, it is not lost on us that there are many Utahns, Americans like Lundberg, who never got to. They are truly the real heroes. In Paris, Alex Cabrera, KSL 5 News.